Homeschooling in China. Homeschooling allows you the freedom to step off the highway of learning and take a more scenic route along a dirt road. Tamara L. Chilver. (2013) After my morning prayer and Qigong meditation, I rejoined the group and positioned myself to practice next to Joe. I wondered if he noticed how I followed him around the training grounds, but he seemed oblivious. Emilie and Natasha practiced their forms together, but Emilie preferred mingling with the other students, offering tips to the newcomers. She often seemed more engaged in conversation than practice. "Emilie, stop talking, it gets your practice," I told her. "Okay, Mama, I already practiced and now I'm on a break," she replied. "You always seem to be on a break," I said. "Mama," she muttered, irritated by my interruption. Emilie excelled in martial arts, just as she did in languages, by immersing herself fully. She wasn't in Wudang just for the training, but for the lifestyle as well. I sighed and turned to look at Olivier, training intensely on the other side of the temple. His dream was to excel in martial arts, enduring grueling traditional training. During split training, his face flushed with effort as classmates pulled his legs in opposite directions. The air was thick with grunts, heavy breathing, and the occasional snap of a bamboo stick. Morning training ended at 11. As we packed up our weapons, Emilie ran up to me excitedly. "Mama, Natasha and I are going to buy food for tonight's dinner. Can I have some money?" she asked. In China, food was a central focus for us. And although Emilie was just 11 years old, she loved cooking meals for the foreigners on our night off. This time, she and Natasha planned to buy beef for a homemade barbecue. Emilie gained valuable experience by preparing group meals and organizing logistics. Everyone's financial contributions eased my burden and provided a welcome break. These experiences shaped Emilie's passion for cooking and her close bond with food, creating a strong sense of community and a way for her to express love. "What about your homework? Did you complete your English assignment?" I inquired. Obviously peeved by my question, she responded, "Yes, Mama, I know. Don't bother me about it." Emilie was in grade 6 and still struggled with reading and writing, often taking up 2 hours to write 2 sentences. Initially, this blew a screw loose in my head until I realized the need to let her take responsibility for her own work. This way, over time, she became more independent and mature, managing her tasks with growing confidence. I caught up with Olivier for the walk back to our room and chatted about the vegetable and bean soup simmering in the slow cooker all night. "You can have it with the bread I baked last night, and then we can finish that math module," I told him. I tried to be mindful of his food sensitivities, but I didn't realize at the time that bread was harmful to his digestion, and baking bread every night made my efforts futile. Olivier, however, was more interested in a small child passing by and ignored my plans. Focusing on the children's schooling helped me avoid my demons, but I knew they lurked in the shadows. Homeschooling 2 kids while training in martial arts was a full-time job. Whenever there was a moment that we were not eating, sleeping, or training, I was on top of them about studying. I ate, breathed, and slept homeschool. I'm not sure how that was helping my spiritual evolution, and it certainly wasn't helping my kids. Was school supposed to be this stressful for parents, I wondered? I served Olivier his soup and he disappeared to read quietly, but not long after I went looking for him. "Olivier, where are you?" I called down the hallway, making my way to the common room where I found him engrossed in the Game of Thrones. "Are you sure that's an appropriate book for you?" I questioned. "Don't worry, Mama, I'm skipping the X-rated parts," he reassured me casually. "Come on, Olivier, put the book down and let's tackle some math," I suggested, hoping to divert his attention. He barely glanced up before burying himself back into his book. I knew he was testing my reaction, and I couldn't help but feel a pang of frustration. How often we overlook the good right in front of us. My 13-year-old son was always immersed in a book, jotting down new words in his tiny notebook and consulting the thesaurus regularly. Yet amidst my worries about his shortcomings, I failed to appreciate his exceptional talent. Olivier displayed little interest in studying, preferring to fill his notebooks with poems, short stories, and even ideas for a screenplay. "Olivier, We need to catch up on math. Let's finish this module and then you can go back to your book, I finally yelled. What's Emilie cooking tonight? Will she bake a cake this weekend? He asked, deflecting my request. I had bought a toaster oven so that Emilie could bake cakes for everyone's birthday, including her own. Come on, Olivier, you know Emilie loves sharing her cakes with everyone, I admonished him. Why does she get so upset if I eat 2 pieces of cake? He questioned. Olivier, you know that she gets upset when you finish the cookies and cakes that she bakes for everyone, I said. You don't respect your sister's wishes, and that's why she gets so annoyed with you. My children often argued about cookies and cake. Emilie loved sharing what she baked with all the students. She enjoyed their compliments on her baking skills and the connection it created with them. Olivier, however, fiercely insisted on keeping the cakes for himself, worried there wouldn't be enough, even though his poor digestion made him sick just after 2 bites. You know that cake hurts your stomach. Why do you want to eat so much of it anyway? I asked, exasperated. It was the same with anything he ate. He served himself huge portions of food during meals and left them in his bowl. He was always hungry but couldn't feed himself enough to feel full. I cooked him soups that were easy on his digestion, but he craved the sweeter food. Come on, Olivier. I grabbed his arm and he let me drag him down the hall to our room, where we could get on the computer and access the online studies. What about pancakes? He continued, deflecting again, but only lightly resisting as I pulled him toward our room. I looked at Olivier impatiently and said, I don't know, but she's cooking with Natasha tonight and I'm sure it will be delicious. Now come on, and let's get this done. I told you already that procrastination is the killer of self-confidence. My voice was bordering on hysteria. You will feel satisfied with yourself once you finish this assignment. He rolled his eyes at me, but sat down to get started on the day's lesson. I lost so much energy getting him to settle in and start working that my voice never lowered to its normal pitch. Many of the foreign students helped us with the homework, preserving my sanity. Natasha worked on English and math with Emilie, who would hide in the closet to punish me when I got upset. Please come out, Emilie, I begged. I won't yell anymore. Just finish the sentence, I'd say to her. Tutors for math, science, and biology eased my burden, and I treasured moments when the kids completed their schoolwork without having a mental breakdown. Homeschooling the kids while training in China was no easy task. It demanded creativity and thinking outside the box. On top of the online studies, I joined them for weekly Chinese classes in town. I had to bribe them with promises of American hamburgers. As English speakers, we struggled to pronounce the Chinese tones. Despite our best efforts, we never mastered Chinese. But the delicious hamburgers prepared by the American chef in town made our attempts feel worthwhile.